Okay, Unit 4, Homework 4, column number 3. Number 1, we are setting up a proportion to solve the equation, so we're going to cross multiply and divide. So we have 4 times x minus 5, and because there's two terms within this part of the proportion, the denominator, we're going to put that with parentheses to let us know that we're going to have to multiply it for both the x and the negative 5. And then it's going to equal 7 times x. Okay, so now we can go ahead and solve, which is distribute, combine, then solve. Oh my, so first distribute. So we have 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And then we are going to combine like terms. I'm sorry, not combine like terms. Combining like terms, there is none to combine here, and there's none to combine over here. So we're actually skipping that step. Step 3 is to solve. So we're going to put negative 4x over to the x side so that all the x's can be together. And I chose to put the 4x over here versus the 7x over here because if I move this 7x, that means nothing else will be over here. That means it would be like empty, and we don't want that. We want it to stay where we have one term on this side and one term on this side. So we're moving it over here. So 7 minus 4x is 3x. We're going to bring down that negative 20, and we're going to divide by 3 on both sides. So negative 20 divided by 3 is not a whole number by any means, but we are very capable of converting this to a fraction form or simplified form or even a decimal form if you like. I chose fraction because they're more of an exact and precise answer. So I'm going to go ahead and divide here. How many times can 3 go into 20? Well, 6 times. And 6 times 3 is 18, so that means we have 2 numbers left over which need to go in the numerator over the regular denominator. So negative 6 2/3, don't forget that negative, equals x. Number 2, you are deciding which cannot represent the lengths of the sides of a triangle. So you have to remember that side 1 plus side 2 must be greater than side 3. You see part A does not work that way. It's less than, so that's not one. 6 plus 7 is greater than 8, so there's one of them. And then we have 8 plus 11 is equal to 19, so remember that it cannot ever equal. It has to be greater than. So now part D, 9 plus 11 is greater than 16, so we actually have 2 correct answers here. So just be careful of that because sometimes you may have more than one correct answer. Number 3, it says name the cross-sectional area below. So if you take your rectangular pyramid and you chop it straight down the middle and you pull the sides, the inner sides out so you can look at the shape, the 2D shape that is created, you'll see that it'll be a triangle. Number 4, the area of a circle is 452.39 feet squared. What would the diameter have to be? Okay, so we're going to solve an equation here. So if they're giving us the area, we're going to set it equal to the area formula, so pi r squared. Okay, so to solve for r, we're going to divide by 3.14 on both sides. You can see I wrote it out, but if you'd like to just continue with the pi symbol, that's perfectly fine. So when you divide this out in the calculator, you'll see that it's 144.07, and we have kind of one big problem here. We have equals r squared. Well, this is kind of a new thing here for us, but I know you're very capable. This is actually an 8th grade standard, but we can get rid of this exponent by taking the inverse operation like you're used to. The inverse operation, however, for an exponent is the square root of that number. So we're going to take the square root of the number on both sides to keep r by itself. So the exponent drops here, and we have to find the square root of 144.07. The square root of 144, eventually you'll have it memorized, is 12. So I went ahead and just rounded it to 12 for the radius. So if we know the radius is 12, then we know the diameter would be twice as large. So 12 times 2 would be 24 for the diameter. Okay, number 5, it says find the volume of a cube below. So that would be 5 times 5 times 5, which would be 125 centimeters cubed. Don't forget to use the correct formula, big B times the height. Number 6, if they're giving you the vertical angle of the missing variable? Well, if it's vertical, that means they're congruent, which means they're the same. So B would equal 60. Number 7, I tried to draw it out as pretty as possible, but we're going to go ahead and just use our information given to find the missing angle. So first I see that 80 plus 40 will help me find the missing angle here by subtracting from 180 degrees, and I find that it's 60. And then if I know that that's 60 and the straight line equals 180 degrees, anything on this straight line shares the 180 degrees. So I can take 180 minus 60 minus 70, and I see that there's 50 degrees left. Okay, so if I know that this is 50 and I know that this one is 25 degrees, then I can find the third angle by subtracting from 180 again, which would be 105 degrees. Number 8, so I drew the picture again, and we're going to use our little information pieces that they give us, and they give us 35 degrees and 95 degrees. So I can find the missing angle here by subtracting from 180, and I find that it's 55. And if I know that this angle is a right angle that they share, that I can subtract 90 minus 55, which will give me 35. Okay, so if this is 35 here, and I know that the top angle is 85, I can add these together and subtract from 180, and I find again that that is 55.